A mysterious occurrence has recently taken place in Alaska. An anonymous man's trail camera, set up to capture images of wild reindeer, unexpectedly recorded what appears to be a large Bigfoot in the background during the daytime. The man said that he had set up his trail camera deep in the Alaskan wilderness with the hope of capturing footage of the local wildlife. His goal was simple: document the presence of reindeer and other animals that frequented the area. However, what his camera captured on one occasion was far from ordinary. When he later reviewed the footage, he was shocked to see the unmistakable silhouette of a tall bipedal creature in the background, a figure that bore a striking resemblance to the legendary Bigfoot. Trail cameras, commonly used by hunters, wildlife researchers, and nature enthusiasts, are motion-activated devices that capture images or video when movement is detected. These cameras are typically placed in remote locations and left unattended for days or even weeks, allowing them to capture candid shots of animals in their natural habitat. Trail cameras are popular in places like Alaska, where the dense wilderness makes it difficult to observe wildlife directly. For the man, his trail camera had been placed in a secluded area known to be frequented by reindeer. The camera had captured numerous images of the local wildlife, including wolves, bears, and, of course, reindeer. However, on one particular day, the camera recorded something far more unusual. In the background of one of the images, a large, upright figure appeared, walking on two legs. The figure's size and posture immediately caught the man's attention, as it did not resemble any known animal in the region. Upon closer inspection, he realized that the figure looked strikingly similar to descriptions of Bigfoot. What made this sighting particularly notable was that it occurred during the daytime. Many alleged Bigfoot sightings take place at night, often in low-light conditions, which can make identifying the creature difficult. The fact that this figure was captured in broad daylight gave the image a level of clarity rarely seen in Bigfoot sightings. The creature, standing upright and walking on two legs, appeared to be moving through the background, perhaps unaware of the trail camera's presence. The creature appeared to be covered in dark hair, and its posture suggested a natural bipedal movement, distinct from that of a bear or any other known animal in the region. The man, who had no previous interest in Bigfoot or cryptozoology, was initially skeptical of what he saw. He reviewed the image several times, comparing it to known animals in the area, but nothing matched the size, shape, or movement of the figure in the background. Convinced that the image depicted something unusual, he decided to share the photograph with online communities that investigate Bigfoot sightings and other unexplained phenomena. After the man reviewed the photograph captured by his trail camera and realized that he might have caught a Bigfoot on film, his curiosity was piqued. Not content with merely relying on the image, he decided to investigate the site where the large, bipedal figure had been seen. He hoped that by returning to the exact location, he could gather more evidence and perhaps determine just how big the creature in the photo really was. Armed with a measuring tape, camera, and a keen eye for detail, he set out to the spot where his trail camera had captured the mysterious figure. His goal was to compare the creature's size to the surrounding trees and objects visible in the photograph, offering a more accurate estimate of its height. What he found on that day not only reinforced his belief that the figure could indeed be a Bigfoot, but also provided an important clue about the creature's massive size. Upon arriving at the site, the man carefully reviewed the photograph again, using the nearby trees in the background to pinpoint the exact location where the figure had been standing. Based on the creature's position relative to several distinct trees visible in the image, he was able to identify the precise area where it had passed through. One of the first things he noticed was how close the figure had been to a large tree, which provided a useful reference for estimating its height. The tree stood tall, towering over the surrounding brush, and had a noticeable forked branch that appeared in both the photograph and in real life. By examining where the top of the creature's head lined up with the fork in the tree, he could make a rough estimate of the figure's size. Additionally, other objects in the environment, such as a nearby bush and a fallen log, helped provide further context. Once he had located the exact spot where the creature had been standing, the man measured the tree and compared its height with the position of the figure in the photograph. According to his estimates, the top of the creature's head reached just below the forked branch of the tree, which was over 8 feet off the ground. This meant that the figure itself had to be at least 8 feet tall, possibly even taller. The man was stunned by the sheer size of the creature, as no known animal in the area, even a bear standing on its hind legs, could reach such a height. The figure's height, combined with its upright posture and bipedal movement, only deepened the mystery. There was no logical explanation for such a large, upright being, unless it was either a hoax or something entirely unknown to modern science. Given the remote location and the fact that no signs of human activity were present, he quickly ruled out the possibility of a person playing a prank. As the man continued to investigate the area, he carefully searched for any signs that might suggest a human presence or a hoax, but he found none. There were no footprints, tools, or discarded items that might indicate someone had been in the area setting up a fake sighting. The trail camera itself was set up far from any frequently traveled paths, in a remote part of Alaska where few people venture. This made it highly unlikely that a person would have been walking through the area at the exact moment the photograph was taken. In addition, the creature's movement and posture in the image seemed natural and unhurried, as if it were simply passing through the area, unaware of the camera's presence. The man concluded that the figure was too large and too well proportioned to be a person in a costume, particularly given the difficulty of moving through the rugged terrain in such an outfit. The more he analyzed the scene, the more convinced he became that the creature in the photograph was not human. When the man shared his findings with online communities, his estimate of the creature's height only added to the excitement. Many Bigfoot researchers and enthusiasts pointed out that reports of the creature's height often ranged from 7 to 10 feet, aligning with the estimate provided by the trail camera photograph. The figure's size, combined with the clear daylight image, made this sighting particularly compelling. Several enthusiasts suggested that the man's investigation of the area had strengthened the case for the sighting's authenticity. By returning to the scene and providing measurements, he had done what few others had, provided a concrete reference point for the creature's size. While many Bigfoot sightings are accompanied by vague descriptions or blurry images, this sighting stood out due to the clear context provided by the surrounding trees and landscape. The community's response also sparked further discussions about the potential for Bigfoot to inhabit remote regions like Alaska. The dense forests, towering mountains, and expansive tundra provide ample cover for such a creature to live undetected, making Alaska one of the most plausible locations for Bigfoot to thrive without frequent human interaction. The idea that a creature of this size could exist in the wild, avoiding capture or clear documentation, was intriguing to many. The trail camera's photograph, combined with the man's on-site investigation, added another layer to the ongoing debate about the existence of Bigfoot. While many remain skeptical of Bigfoot sightings, this particular encounter had several factors in its favor. First, the clarity of the image, taken during the day and showing a clear silhouette, set it apart from the many blurry or inconclusive images that often accompany Bigfoot claims. Second, the man's decision to return to the scene and gather measurements added credibility to the sighting, as it provided a tangible way to estimate the creature's size. For Bigfoot researchers, this sighting offered valuable data that could be compared with other reports and sightings in the region. The fact that the figure appeared to be at least 8 feet tall aligned with many other descriptions of Bigfoot, and its upright posture and movement through the wilderness were consistent with known patterns of reported sightings. As of right now, the man's trail camera, initially intended to capture images of reindeer, ended up capturing something far more extraordinary. The figure that appeared in the background of his photograph, standing tall among the trees, remains a mystery. With an estimated height of over 8 feet, the creature did not match any known wildlife in the area, leaving many to wonder if this was indeed a sighting of the legendary Bigfoot. Long before European settlers arrived in Alaska, the indigenous peoples of the region spoke of hairy men, mysterious creatures that lived deep in the forests and mountains. These beings, often described as tall, bipedal, and covered in hair, were thought to possess supernatural powers and were regarded with both respect and fear. In some legends, the creatures were considered protectors of the wilderness, while in others, they were seen as dangerous beings capable of harming those who ventured too far into their territory. The natives all have stories of Bigfoot-like creatures. These accounts describe encounters with large, hairy beings that could walk on two legs and leave behind massive footprints. In many cases, these creatures were said to be nocturnal and highly reclusive, only revealing themselves to humans on rare occasions. Indigenous elders have passed these stories down through generations, maintaining the belief that the creatures are real and should be respected. When European trappers, hunters, and explorers began venturing into Alaska's wilds in the 19th and early 20th centuries, they too reported encounters with strange, bipedal creatures. These early accounts often described sightings of massive, hairy beings that would disappear into the wilderness before anyone could get a clear look. Some hunters found enormous footprints in the snow or mud, which could not be explained by any known animal. These early reports added to the growing lore surrounding Bigfoot in Alaska. In modern times, Bigfoot sightings in Alaska have continued, with many reports coming from individuals who spend extended periods in remote, uninhabited areas. Hunters, trappers, and hikers, those most familiar with the wildlife of Alaska, are often the ones to report sightings, adding credibility to their accounts. One notable area for Bigfoot sightings is the Kenai Peninsula, where several individuals have claimed to encounter the creature. In the early 2000s, a hunter reported seeing a large, dark figure moving through the trees while on a hunting trip. The creature was walking on two legs and stood well over 7 feet tall. The hunter claimed that the figure moved swiftly and silently, disappearing into the dense forest before he could pursue it. He later found massive footprints in the area, much larger than those of a bear, adding to his belief that he had encountered Bigfoot. Another well-known hotspot for sightings is Prince of Wales Island in southeast Alaska. This island, covered in thick forests and towering mountains, has been the site of multiple Bigfoot reports. In one case, a group of hikers claimed to hear strange vocalizations in the distance, followed by the sight of a large, hairy figure standing on a ridge overlooking the forest. The creature reportedly stood still for several moments, watching the hikers, before disappearing into the trees. In 1993, a man driving near Lake Iliamna, Alaska's largest lake, reported seeing a massive, hairy creature cross the road in front of him. The driver described the creature as being nearly 8 feet tall, covered in dark fur, and walking upright like a human. It crossed the road quickly and disappeared into the nearby forest, leaving the driver stunned by what he had seen. Sightings of Bigfoot have also been reported in Denali National Park, a rugged and remote area known for its breathtaking scenery and abundant wildlife. Given Alaska's vast, untamed wilderness, it's not surprising that many believe it could be home to a population of Bigfoot. The sheer size and remoteness of the state make it an ideal hiding place for a large, reclusive creature. With more than 660,000 square miles of largely uninhabited land, much of which is difficult to access, it is possible that Bigfoot could evade human detection for extended periods.